Hello, everybody. Wearing the same shirt. Might be the same day that we did the news on Chris Parson the other day. Who knows? Maybe I just don't shower ever. I'm Aslan Hajavani. I'm director of digital media for Warchant.com, the ultimate Semble sports source. Lots of recruiting, and that's because we got a great dude named Michael Langston over here who's got his fingers on the pulse of all things Florida State recruiting. We'd like for you to maybe hit the thumbs up, maybe subscribe to our YouTube page, but also download the app, right? Right, Michael? You got the app on your phone, right?
Yes, yes. Download the app. It's awesome. It's a great feature. It looks good. Certainly hit it. My family, most of my family has it. So certainly do it and hit the like button. As always. So certainly do those two things for us and just download as much as you can. We're gonna give you more and more each time. Big things are happening. So certainly hit the like button for us.
That's right. Do that, everybody. All right. It hasn't hit 100 degrees in a few days here in Tallahassee, so let's heat it up. A little bit of hot board action. We've talked a lot about the offense, did quarterbacks, did receivers, a lot of shuffling, a lot of moving at those positions ever since we dropped the hot board. So let's do one on the defensive side of things in the interior defensive tackles, Michael. Lots of really important prospects on the board for Florida State that they're involved in. They've already got a commitment from one. His name is Keith Sampson. How many guys do they ultimately want at this position, Michael? And what do you like about Keith?
I think two or three, if you could, around that. That's kind of what I feel. Obviously, it would have been higher, but they landed Tafis. I don't even know how you say his last name. That's in the
Tiafasi,
20. Yeah,
Tiafasi. Oh,
Tafasi Ayabo. I mean, if I messed it up, I'm sorry, but he's a guy they're really excited about. So they have him coming in. So with that, that kind of narrows it down a little bit as far as the kind of the positions and numbers, but Keith's a really one they're really high on. Visited FSU several times. He has taken an official visit to North Carolina even after he committed, and he visited NC State. But he's coming back on July 30th. I feel pretty good just kind of about that commitment, just the priority, the way their the relationship is, and just his connection with FSU. I think he's perfect for that guy in the middle that can play either nose guard or if you want to move him over to the regular three, he can certainly cause a lot of havoc. He's really quick off the ball, as the people can see in a lot of these clips. I mean, he is doesn't look like a three-star when I watch this guy. Just as far as this film, the quickness he gets off the ball is just what really jumps out to me about Keith, and what I love, and I think it's what FSU loves as well. Including Odell Haggins, who knows a thing or two about defensive tackles, but he's kind of a guy that kind of I think he's got a lot of when you watch, I mentioned this guy a few times with different prospects. So he does some things that are similar to what Derek Nanati did when he played here. So I think that's kind of how they envision a guy like KJ Sampson.
all right. Well, how about we head over to Duval County? I think there's a guy over there that we've already visited with that's of
Yes,
great interest of Florida State fans. Who else is on the board for Florida State here in state?
yeah, Jordan Hall, defensive tackle out of West Side. We went over there and did a great feature. He was very candid about everything. I would say Florida, FSU, and Georgia are the teams that I hear the most. More so Florida and more so FSU and Florida, but I think Georgia's very much in there. I think he's certainly they've certainly made a push and pushing hard. But I think the key there with him is the long-standing relationships that he's had for with Odell Higgins. Odell was his first offer. They really have prioritized him from the beginning. He loves what Odell, as far as the teachings and the stuff that Odell gets him. He's likely going to come back as well for that July 30th event. But I think just that relationship, I mean, and we already saw this if you watch the feature. And man, if you haven't watched it, watch it, guys. I know we're showing some of it now. It really gets into this is a kid that's really big on loyalty and trust. So that's a big deal that FSU was involved early. He's really that's a really key component in his recruitment because he that was one of the main reasons he stayed at Westside was because of his loyalty to his coach. He felt really that it was something I need to do, and two, he wants to be around people that he trusts as far as how they develop them and stuff like that. So I think FSU is certainly a very high choice, for Jordan Hall. He's a guy that certainly is going to be at FSU multiple times, I'm sure, for games or whatnot. He's taking it kind of slow as far as how he looks at the process, but I think FSU has done probably the best job as far as recruiting him, both in evaluations and personal relationships. And doesn't hurt that one of his closest friends, Roger Kearney, is already committed to FSU, so that's a big deal. Having somebody there that you're already comfortable with, so I think there's several factors that certainly benefit FSU in this recruitment.
Let's go across the border. Let's go to Georgia. There's someone they're hot on the trail with, and that's Tavion Gatson. What do we know about him, his skill set, and where Florida State stands on his commitment, or sorry, his recruitment rather?
Yeah, he's visited FSU multiple times. He covered it many a times of, Tavion being here. Certainly, there's no question his love affair with Odell Higgins. He loves that guy. He took an official visit to FSU, I believe, on the June 24th weekend. I've already forecasted him the FSU, so that kind of tells you where I stand a little bit with him. I think he could play defense, strong side defensive end or defensive tackle. I lean more towards defensive tackle. I think his hands is what jumps out to you. He's very violent with his hands. He gets off the line. Footwork's fast, but those hands just really always jump out to me with Tavion. And they've been pushing for this kid for a long time. They've been pushing for this kid. They offered early in the spring, but then they just really just stayed on him. Like, I think there have been the most aggressive team in his recruitment. I think he's another one that we could watch for a July decision. I think we could see something coming up in July for a decision from Tavion with FSU obviously getting the last official visit. I think they sit in a really good spot. And another Savannah kid. They love that. They love that city. Savannah. They love recruiting there, and that's where they got Kalen DeLoach from. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Winston Wright is from there. They got him from the transfer portal, and then Luke Crumhawk is also a quarterback. He's committed to FSU, so they certainly recruit the city of Savannah really well. And I think this kid just fits the type of Odell Hagen's defensive tackle. When you see the way he uses his hands, gets off the ball fast, and just finishes and crushes the opponent. So I think he's another one kind of like that I covered earlier, with DJ Chester on the offensive line. I think he's kind of the GJ Chester of the defensive line, where they view him a lot higher than a lot of people have ranked them so far. So I think both of those guys are going to be guys that, we see a bump in their rankings as far as where they're at currently.
All right, how about we go to the boot? David Johnson, that's his neck of the woods, a.k.a. Coach Shaq, running backs coach for Florida State. Been paying a little bit of attention to recruiting nationwide. Brian Kelly's really kind of turned things up in
Yes.
Louisiana, and he's locked down that state, which some people thought maybe would be a bit of an issue. But there is a guy out there, St. Augustine High School, rather, which is where David Johnson is very familiar with, Kyron Boudra, or
Yeah.
excuse me, Bourda.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kieran. Paul, I mean, I'll buy you beignets, show you mad love from Florida State, maybe some
Okay.
NIL dollars too, man. What do we know about this kid and his recruitment right now at Florida State?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned kind of the Coach Yak connection there. I think that's where he coached and where he's from or went to school there.
Yeah, correct.
Either way, has extreme ties to this area. This is a kid that was going to visit FSU. Obviously, plans got kind of messed up as far as travel, but I think he's going to come back over very soon. I don't know if it's going to be the 30th. I'm still checking on that. I'm confirming with him to see if that's going to happen. But I do think FSU will get an official visit. I think he's serious about FSU. I think he wants to look at them. I think Arkansas, Texas, Florida, those LSU have been mentioning some, but I haven't heard like a major push yet from LSU. But those are kind of some of the teams that I feel are heavy in the mix. Thing I love about this guy is just he's a sack machine as a defensive tackle. Really athletic guy at that position. Knows how to get off the ball quick. Really dominated. A lot of the camps he went to is because of his leverage he gets off the line of scrimmage is very strong, very solid. 4-star prospect, I think. And then as you saw with that strip play, he has very strong hands. When he gets a hold of somebody, they're obviously going down most of the time, but he's also forcing takeaways, and that's what I think a lot of schools like about Chiron is the fact that he can force get the ball back on your side and just to get takeaways. And certainly his hands are another thing that just the staff and I think a lot of schools are just so enamored by with this kid. The way he moves sideline to sideline very well. Good speed you're looking for, and like I said, one of the most athletic defensive tackles I think you're going to find in the Southeast.
All right, then, Michael. One last thing on the way out. I mean, they are going to lose Robert Cooper. They are going to lose Fabian Lovett.
Yep.
Is a guy like Elijah Davis from Scuba, and he's Mississippi Community College, does he maybe become a little bit more of an urgent need? I mean, do you think they want to pursue? I mean, I'm sure they'll look in the portal, obviously, but is a JUCO guy maybe a little bit more appealing to Florida State for next season, given the fact that
Yes.
they'll lose those kind of guys?
Yeah, especially guy that they've studied, where they went to see Elijah work. They went to over there at Scuba, Mississippi, to watch him. Just the type of skill set he has. The thing you worry about JUCO kids is like injuries. They get injuries a lot to shoulders and stuff when they're in high school in JUCO. So, but if there's a JUCO, I think he does make them a priority. I think Tennessee, Ole Miss, those are kind of the schools that Elijah mentioned to me when he visited FSU in the spring. I think for a big man camp or something, came over here with a few teammates. They worked out. I think Elijah's certainly one that they've prioritized a little bit more. So I think official visit is probably likely down the line. He told me that's probably going to be in November. I think another guy, not JUCO lies, is Will Norman. He flirts a lot with FSU. I think he's a guy that's a top 100 player that they are still very active with, and Will's tweeted like he's coming back soon. I think he did that, several weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that he's coming back soon. So I think he could be a guy that possibly pops in there on July 30th. He's a guy that's really, really close with Keon Ratcliffe on the staff. He's really close with, I think he's done with Odo Hagen's done a really good job, and the entire staff. He really likes his staff. I'd say. I think a possibility of another visit is certainly on the radar for a guy like Will Norman, who I think Penn State, Florida, Texas A&M have been the main teams I've heard the most in that recruitment. So I think that's probably something to watch going forward. He loves the process, so wherever he goes, he seems to have a really good time. But I definitely think FSU is a school that he's still pretty active with, and likely going to visit again.
That was like 5, 6 guys we just went over. Could there be more guys on the hot board? Yes. Got to go to warchant.com, the premium recruiting board, to get in on that. Don't forget, download the app. Get all the information there as well. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Michael, good stuff from you, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bud.